Growing up as the daughter of a commercial fisherman, it was very hard not having my dad around. The dynamic was he was gone for up to 6 months in the year, and I didn't see him a lot, and I didn't want my kids to be raised that way, but we had chosen to fish. So we decided to raise our family right alongside us. I started fishing with my dad when I was 6 years old. He was a commercial fisherman, came from a fishing family, and he started fishing with his dad when he was 6 years old. I loved going out with him, and by the time I was 12, I was fishing with him all summer long.
I first heard about fishing, I think, or commercial fishing at church with Mom's dad, Jerry. And then I was up working, bucking hay, and he said, "Oh, you'd be a good one on a fishing boat." So I figured I would ask him for a job. So later that summer I asked him for a job, and he took me. So I went out. This was in high school between my junior and senior year. And I started seining down in Kodiak with him. Did that a few years, and he bought into Bristol Bay. And so I started running his boats and in Bristol Bay and in Kodiak, and then seining herring also. We wanted to be together as a family, and then having our own boat and own operation allowed us to make those choices and accommodate the kids growing up.
There you are. Yeah, give me both sides, both sides. Oh, good, good. Good side. Yes, I love you. Love you. Yeah. Okay, and then we have first mate here, little Miss Amelia. She's gonna make sure the boat doesn't roll over, right? What have we been seeing today? Whales. And what else? Seals. Seals, okay. And how old are you? 4, okay. You had it. How old is Caleb? 4. No, 2? 2. Okay, thanks.
Fishing's worked well, bringing our family alongside. We wouldn't be able to bring a large family. We had our 2 kids, and we were able to teach them skills and ethics that we wouldn't have been able to teach them elsewhere. We fish for June and July, and then have the rest of the winter to do any kind of other boat work, other jobs, raise the kids, teach them. I homeschooled for a few years and helped out in their school. So it gave us a lot of just hands-on raising our children. Difficulties is not feeling like I'm able to give the kids a proper summer. Being they'd get out of school right before we would leave for fishing. We'd have 2 or 3 days of a break, go straight out fishing and come back. So that one was a little bit hard. Another difficulty is laundry. Laundry was a big problem. Our boat's small enough, we don't have a shower, we don't have hot water. So we'd fill up a laundry bag, and kids make a lot of laundry. So that was a tough one. So one of the things that was difficult was knowing that the kids needed time to wiggle and play, and me as my own person becoming very, very exhausted and feeling like I couldn't give them the attention that they wanted. And so I had to make the choice between sleep and play with the kids, and so I just sit super groggy on the deck and read books with them or play.
I don't know how to say difficult. You expect difficult when you go out fishing, so.
One of the hardest things for me was to motivate myself to get out of bed and start working. And when you're sleeping soundly and then you hear the boat start, like, beep, vroom, home. and you have to get up. You haven't been sleeping for very long.
I think that just the tired exhaustion and being disoriented and just wanting to sleep, I guess. That's probably my least favorite thing that comes about. I'm not a fan of rough weather where it's all stormy, and especially when the kids were little, tossing them around on the boat. I remember just standing there holding things, wanting to cry, but don't really know what direction to go with it all, whether it's just crazy to fish with the little people on board or even fishing when the weather's rough where they can't stand up or take care of themselves. That's pretty hard on your heart.
Is there anything else you want to say about it? Daddy's driving over nets?
He's driving over everything.
And what do you think about that?
He's being naughty.
He's being naughty, huh? Oh. So do you like to do this fishing? Yeah? Okay.
All I can see is waves and corks.
All you can see is waves and corks. Okay.
And boats.
And boats, huh?
A lot of boats.
A lot of boats.
Corks and boats.
More corks than boats. Well, that's an accurate assessment.
I would definitely say that when they're 2 was the hardest stage, because they're learning how to talk and choose whether they're going to do what you say or not. And there was one time I had a bad dream, thought Caleb had gone under, and we couldn't get him back. The water where we fish is real silty, and he went under and I couldn't reach him, and that scared me. So I woke up from that whacking Tim in the chest and saying, they have to wear life jackets all the time. And from that point on, they wore their life jackets for everything, and neither one of them wanted to ever be out on deck without them. So we had big round things behind them that had handle-like hooks. So if we ever needed to scoop them out of the water, we could deck hook the life jacket and hoist them on the boat. I think a large benefit is we've really been able to live life as a family. During the year, we're able to be together. On the boat, we've been able to raise our kids with work ethic, show them diligence, show them that they can push beyond what they think they can do, that there's more endurance, being able to work alongside them, and they get to watch us work and not quit until the job's done.
You picked all those yourself? Yeah. And that big old king? Wow, honey. What do you think about the weather? What do you think about the wind and the waves? They're putting our boat up? Do you like it or do you not like it? You do?
We get to raise our own kids and instill the work ethic and morals and character values that we have in them. It's not left to somebody else. It's just fun to be together, fun to see the kids grow up and explore life, and you get that around the clock, everything that they do or find curious, so you get to explore it with the kids. Whether it's getting a bird that landed on the boat, or finding a walrus, or just watching fish go over a sandbar or something.
My favorite part of fishing as a family is when we arrive at the boat at the very beginning of the season. And you open it up, and for me, I smell a moldy boat that's just stored, and it smells, it hasn't been aired out. The kids run down in and they just giddy say, it smells like the boat, and how happy they seem to be to arrive back at the boat.
Every time we get to the boat, it's an every year thing, but just the smell of the boat, it's so homey, it brings back all the other memories, just smelling the boat. Don't know why.
I loved growing up on the boat and working as a family. That was awesome.
I like when the kids fall asleep when they were tiny. They'd fall asleep on my chest, and a little sound, and they'd be exhausted. Kind of fall asleep right with them. Something about their little restful noise of them breathing help you just fall right asleep, snuggling with them. I like that.
I have so many memories. One of them, we had a particularly bad weather day. Amelia was small. When I say small, 2. Caleb was an infant. And the weather was really, really bad. And I was going down into the cabin to make it a better day. I'm going to go down and make a nice dinner to make the day better. And open the door to see bloody gray water, about 4 inches of it in the bottom of our cabin, with books and toys floating in it. And it's just one of the things that fishing throws at you. You never expect to have gray in your cabin.
My favorite part is when the engine shut down. You can hear, it's all loud, it's been loud the whole day, and then it's all quiet. You can hear the water splashing on the side of the boat. So that's probably my favorite part, other than making money.
Caleb and I always collected buoys. Whenever we saw them, we wanted to go on shore, or go swimming for them, or go dip net them. We saw just across this little creek there was a buoy, and we thought, no problem, we'll just wade through the mud and go fetch it. We started wading, and it got deeper and deeper, and we were getting stuck, suctioned in. And I remember we never got the buoy, but we were happy to have made it out.
One of the years that the kids were starting to come on and actually work hard, they were our crew, and I kept telling them, the fish will stop, the fish will stop. I felt like the biggest liar, as day after day the fish didn't stop, and we kept loading our boat day after day. And pretty soon I said again, the fish will stop coming, and neither one of them would even look at me.
Caleb and I, and one of our deckhands, Colton, our friend, we were all jumping the waves on the boat, and there were just these huge, huge waves. And there was this one that we jumped, and we hadn't been holding onto the rails at all. We just jumped. So you hit it just right, you go flying when the boat drops. And there was this one really big one, and Caleb and I held on, and our friend didn't hold on, and he jumped. And Caleb and I made eye contact with each other, and he was nowhere to be seen. He was up there in the air, come crashing down on the anchor winch.
I think fishing as a family is it's good. Kind of says it in and of itself. It's kind of like a farming lifestyle where you're just, the young ones grow up in the world of the adults, and so they learn how to be an adult while they're playing. They get to play, have fun with all the things that are there, but grow up learning how to live, how to be, how to deal with the tough issues of life, whether it's how to keep your temper or emotions under control under extreme exhaustion and physical and lack of sleep or lack of food, or and it just gives you an opportunity to example that for your kids so they can learn how to tough it through life themselves when life gets hard.
Last year, picking our last set as a family, it was a big set, and knowing it was the last one that we would all be together was hard, because I love working with them. Dad came out and picked it all with us because we knew it was going to probably be our last.
When our kids were little, we had a regular full crew, and it was tough because you had all the duties of a parent. If your kid's sick and up all night, if you had a 4-hour section to sleep and you were up with them because they're sick or fussy or something, it was super exhausting. As the kids got to be 5, 7 years old, they actually started helping in a real fashion, whether it was just running a reel or pushing fish into the fish hold. They seemed to enjoy pitching in where they could. And then as the kids got to where they're teenagers, even young teenagers, they knew how to do everything better than most crew because they'd been there all their lives. They just knew how to navigate on a boat, how to live on a boat, which is quite a challenge as someone who's never been on a boat. And they knew how to pick fish quite well, even though they didn't have the muscle to do it. And then by their late teens, they're better crewmen than anybody else. And then they leave.
Amelia's going on to continue fishing, and Caleb's looking at purchasing a boat and fishing right beside us this next coming season. So if that all works out, we will still all be fishing.